Recruiter here, the headless headhunter, to review your resumes to get you ahead of your job search. The resume we have up first is a Python backend engineer entry level. They stated they've recently graduated in May and they've applied to about 50 jobs. This was submitted to me beginning of this month. And you've only received rejections or no replies. I didn't get any internships, so I'm wondering if that was the part really holding me back. Was wondering what I could do to improve my resume so I could get a chance at an interview. So, couple of things. Your resume is actually not terrible. I did a meet or yeet of this, and it was a yeet, but it was like barely a yeet. And I will be perfectly honest with you, I have a massive headache right now. I suffer from migraines. It stinks. And it's possible that the recruiter who is reviewing your resume is also sick or distracted or going through stuff. And most of your problems is that it's a little too cluttered. They're going to miss some stuff. So that's one. One is you have a little bit of too much stuff that I missed it, because I actually missed the Python. This is what I'm looking for in a backend Python dev is Python, SQL, Docker, Kubernetes, Django, Cloud, its Word, so AWS, GCP, Azure, and like EC2 or whatever. RESTful APIs, Agile, Git, CI/CD, and a bonus for full stack. I actually missed because you had so much stuff here, and because of my headache or migraine, I missed Python, which I didn't even see, and I missed Docker, which was here. So your first problem is there's too much stuff. Is it good to have some full stack in a back on Python dev? Yes, there's a reason it's there. But you started off with CRUD. Then you also added Flask, which I would not care about. Then you added all this stuff before you added Docker. And extra credit is extra credit. It should go towards the end. So what I want to see here is developed a full stack or developed a management system using Python, Docker, HTML, CSS, JavaScript in SQL. All right, that way it gets almost everything you have. Then in the next one, you can do RESTful APIs and add GitHub and maybe CI/CD. But the problem is you also have CRUD, you have RBAC, you have this 80% positive user ratings. You have integrated. Oh my gosh, Azure. I missed Azure. I didn't even see the Azure here. There's so much here, and I've got such a headache that I missed it. Your first stack, if you're going for a backend Python dev, should just be, I didn't even see the Azure, should be developed a student request management system using Python, Python, Docker, RESTful APIs, MySQL in an Azure environment. That is what your very first sentence should be. That alone will get you more interviews. So that is your first problem, is there is so much stuff here that I actually missed what I needed because you buried it. You actually did have the qualifications, but again, there's so much stuff here, and we only have 15 seconds. Then this is fine, but again, I don't care about 98% accuracy. This stuff may not be needed. CNN, don't really care about, don't care about. This I could care about. So that's your biggest problem there. And the other one is you've only applied to 50 jobs in 2 months. Even with a phenomenal resume, even with an amazing resume, you're going to need to apply to more jobs than that. And I wish that wasn't the case. I wish I could tell you with the perfect resume I can give you, you're going to apply to 5 jobs and you're going to get them. And the answer to that is no. Even a phenomenal resume to get an interview will be 1 in 10. And we're talking like an absolute amazing resume could be a 1 in 10. At least in this market for an entry-level software engineer. So you may have to apply to 50 applications a week, not in 2 months, a week. If you do that, you will actually, I think if you did that, your ratio would in fact be about 1 in 50. So you need to apply to way more jobs. If you can't do 50 a week, okay, but try to do 20 to 25 because the market is brutal. And again, even with a perfect resume, even with applying early, which again, ATSs sort you in the order you applied. So the faster you apply, the better your chances. Because if you are applicant number 170 and they find who they need at applicant number 75, you're not going to get an interview. So that is your problem, and it's twofold. One, you're not applying to enough jobs. Flat out. That's bar none, you're not applying to it. B, you have the qualifications, but this is so packed with different information and it's not in the right format that they're going to miss the stuff they actually needed. I did miss this. I missed Python. I missed Azure. People are going to destroy me in the comments of that video. But remember, I have 15 seconds. That's all I got. And my eyes were drawn to all of this. So start it off with the actual stack that you are. So the very first things my eyes see is the stack that you are. That is going to help you immensely. Then you can add HTML, CSS, JavaScript for the front end later. That's fine. That's good. But you can't add the Flask here and then have the RESTful API. So fix this, make it more easy to understand, fix the formatting, and remember, sorry, I've got like something in my throat. Remember, your very first bullet point, I need to see your stack. And I don't want to see all of your stack. I want to see the stack that it's focused on. In this case, it's going to be Python, Docker, SQL, Azure, and if you can fit RESTful APIs into that as well. So, but regardless of those things, I was missing CI/CD and Agile. But again, if you have the rest of that, I think it's going to be fine. So apply to more jobs, make it easy to read. You actually do have the qualifications they're going to be looking for, and apply just to more. Your volume needs to be higher, and there's no other nicer way to say that. 50 over 2 months is nothing. That's practically nothing. It's really, really not. Even if you had a phenomenal resume, that may not be enough to get you a job. So that is all I can do for this one. Before we go to the next resume, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'd be happy to answer any of your questions. It usually takes me a day or two to respond, but you can tell me about that. And if you need more help to find out where I get these qualifications, you can join me on my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. I start at 11 a.m. PST and I stream until whenever. So that's all I can do for this one. Let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a software engineer intern in Europe, which again, I'm not a European recruiter. I'm a US-based recruiter. That is where most of my knowledge is. I have gotten people jobs in Europe, and sometimes it doesn't always translate. So what we're looking for in a software engineer internship is your degree, basic knowledge of the tech stack. So again, language library, SQL Cloud, just some real basic stuff. Ability to work well with others and takes direction and criticism. Will this translate to a European one? Maybe, hopefully. So let's see if I can do it. Let's start the clock. I said start the clock. Okay, let's see if I can find it. And go. High availability. Okay, I mean, you say cloud, but you don't tell me what cloud. I actually do need to know what kind of cloud. Prototyping, nothing. CI/CD could be beneficial. Kubernetes could be, but I don't even see your main stack. Maybe it's Go? I haven't really seen that. I don't think that's a thing. Maybe it is in the EU. Yeah. Okay, so I don't see this. Right? Like, remember, what I'm looking for is basic. You're trying to convince me how amazing you are, but I'm not looking for that. Resumes are not made to be shown how good you are. They're really bad at it. It's entirely a minimum qualification document. So when you say ensured high availability for large-scale cloud-native applications, enhancing reliability and uptime, that doesn't matter to me. I do like cloud, but you didn't tell me what cloud. Was it AWS? Was it Azure? Was it GCP? I don't know. You didn't tell me. And that's why that one doesn't count. And I'm not looking for... In fact, look at the job descriptions for internships. No one is telling you that they need you to have high availability for large-scale cloud-native applications, enhancing reliability and uptime. No one is saying we are hiring and what you need to do is 2 years experience of spearheading the replacement of an outdated time series database, overseeing prototyping, replacement, and migration, resulting in a 90% reduction in backup time and 95% smaller disk footprint. Nobody's asking for that. They're saying, hey, bro, can you use Python? Cool. Have you used Docker? Awesome. What have you done with it? Okay, you made a little project in it. Neat. Did it contain SQL? Yeah. Oh, and you also did it on AWS? Awesome. And then they're also going to be like, so can you work well with others? Yeah, you met weekly for code where people would go over your code and you'd implement changes based on what they said. Cool. That takes direction and criticism. And you can work well with others. That's what they're looking for. They're not looking for develop domain-specific backend using Go, optimizing application efficiency and functionality, maybe Go. Maybe Go, I can give you that. Again, maybe in the EU it's a little bit different, but the rest of this I'm not. Like deeply involved in enhancing our Jenkins CI/CD pipeline, focusing on Kubernetes integration to streamline development. They're not asking you that. That's not what they're asking you to find. Like if you ask somebody, hey, how was your week? Like, what did you do? What did you get at the grocery store? And they instead tell you about the time they went to Tahiti where they skydived and into a vat of sharks and acid, and they escaped from it barely with their lives. You're like, okay, that's cool, but that wasn't what I asked. I'm not asking for all this stuff. This one actually is solid. Educated children age 11 to 15 in Python and HTML, because this shows that you can work well with others, because having also taught kids before, they can be crazy. I was a substitute teacher for a bit of a time because I wanted to see if I was going to do that, and I didn't fully know if I was going to go back to recruiting or not, because I was like, I don't know if I want to go, and then I made the decision. But yeah, that actually is a good one, because anybody that's worked with kids can tell you that they are insane, and you need a large amount of patience, but they're probably not even going to get down to there. They'll probably get down to here, and then they'll stop reading because you simplified content management for client websites by integrating Hype Graphs CMS with GraphQL. They're not asking for that. And your education needs to be up at the top. Specifically, especially if you're an intern, they need to know that you're already there. So your education needs to be up at the top, and then don't have a skills section. It can be completely deleted. Built a headless CMS with a modular API architecture using Django, MongoDB, and Next.js. I think that is probably your best sentence. I want the rest of your sentences written like that. You built an X, it was modular, I used X and Y for Z. That's good. That's a really good sentence. But nobody's going to scroll down there, especially not for interns. It's highly competitive. So make those changes, and you should reduce the amount of time it takes you to get an interview. But yeah, just look at the job descriptions. Like, for real, like, this goes for everybody. Y'all got to really look at what they're asking, because candidates give us basically everything we don't want. And that's a big disconnect, is every single person will try to show how awesome and amazing they are. And we're like, we're not looking for that. We're just making sure you've done the bare minimum. And we can't move you forward if you haven't. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a project manager, and it's also formatted a little bit weird, so I can't like fully get it all on the screen. This person, I think they only have a 1 in 75 ratio, which is not good, but it's not the worst ever. Again, that's like a D- if you gave them grades. This person has a lot of stuff, but they're looking for it, and they're not sure if they're blowing the interviews or if their resume is the problem. And the short answer to that is it really depends on how many interviews you get. On average, if you get a 1 in 50 ratio of interviews, 1 in 50 applications to interviews, so that's 1 interview per every 50 applications. My migraine is messing with my words. That is okay. That's like a C-. Like, could it be better? Yes, but it does pass. So if you're getting a 1 in 75, I would say the issue is probably going to be your resume, and we can get that a little bit better. So, and then you wrote me a bunch of other stuff, which is really good. Basically, you said you're a bit of a jack of all trades, master of none. You wore many hats, which I'm going to assume is part of your problem, because people don't usually hire people that can do it all. They want you to do one specific thing. Now, once they hire you for that, they will probably make you do it all, but that's not how they start hiring. I know that's a hugely it's very hypocritical, but that's how it works. So what we're looking for in a project manager is details about how and why you did X. I need the how and the why so very much. How you made things happen compared to how you did things. So remember, your job is to influence internal people to do stuff for you, right? Your job is to manage the project. Oh, there's a fly. Go away, bug. How did you get... No, that's a moth. Okay. I want to know that you have a PMP or CSM. That's huge. If you don't have it, that's okay, but it's a very big benefit to have a PMP CSM. I want to know that you've talked to customers and stakeholders, you've been agile, and what the industry is. I need to know your industry because there's going to be some slight different qualifications based on like healthcare versus tech versus piano salesman. So how many team members you have? Was it matrixed and cross-functional? Number of projects, budgets, multitask. Basically, I need to know all the details about your projects. How did you use the resources you had for success? How did you solve problems in Influence? Did you use Jira, Confluence, and MS Project? So, can I find those in 20 seconds? Probably not. All right. Again, nothing here counts. You cannot have a professional summary. Excel's agile. Well, no, no. Okay, this one's okay. This is really a nightmare to read. It's okay. So yeah, this would be a no. You don't really tell me enough. So first off, I really don't know why your resume... This is the normal resolution for most resumes. I don't know why this is in a random resolution. I feel like this is ripped straight from Indeed or something, which again, there could be worse, but I don't... Fix this. I don't know why it looks like this. I have to zoom in. Make it look like this. Then, unless you're changing industries, unless you're moving for a role, or you are explaining a visa, you don't need a summary. You don't need anything here. So second, this is very difficult to read, so nothing here should be bolded. Nothing here should be bolded. All right, just in general, nothing here should be bolded. Your education should be up at the top. Your masters, I think, should be up instead. I don't know what you got this in, though. Bachelor's in what? I don't know. You did not tell me. Although if it is in art, I understand you can put it at the bottom because that's not as related, but you still didn't tell me. I think you told me via the note, but you didn't tell me via this. Then here, excels in multiple roles for international. No, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for excels and roles for international cultural marketing firms by providing consistent, agile, and responsive support. I'm saying, were you in an agile environment? I don't know. You did not tell me. Collaborate. What does it mean, collaborate? I hate the word collaborate. I think it and leverage are my least favorite resume words. I'm okay with spearheaded. At least spearheaded gets the point across. That was not an intentional pun. But, like, what is collaborative with? I'm not asking you, did you collaborate? I'm asking how you collaborated with them. Did you say, met with external stakeholders of Established Emerging Arts Weekly to X and Y and Z? I don't know. You didn't tell me. You just said you met with them and understood something. Manage and prioritize end-to-end delivery of 3 to 4 projects annually. That's actually good. It tells me how many projects to ensure timely on-budget completion. This is your best part. That's good. I mean, I don't want to... I'd like to know that you did it rather than tried to do it. So managed the delivery of 3 to 4 projects, which included a maybe budget of X. Again, I don't know. The problem is 3 to 4 projects a lot? Depends on the company. You don't explain if that was a lot or not. Led the administrative transition. Nothing here. I wouldn't care about any of that. That doesn't matter. Design longitude marketing research projects. Again, I'm not looking for the amount of responses. I'm asking for, like, why did you do this? Communication. See, this is okay, but, like, how did you facilitate communication of those reports? What was the point of that? I don't know. So your resume is pretty bad. I'm going to say that. I don't know what you did. I understand you did it all, but you cannot show it all. You have to make it focused. You have to make it entirely focused on the projects. How many projects did you do? Why was that actually important to do those projects? What was the budget? Did you have other team members? Who were the stakeholders? Were you able to convince them to get anything done, both internal and external? What were the finer details of the project? I don't know. I think I said that again. My brain is not working. So I don't find basically anything I need. Also, there's no cross-functional. Because again, nothing here counts. Nothing here counts. So redo a lot of this, make it look like this, nice and easy to read, and then please, for the love of all that is holy, tell me more about how you did it. A software engineer can get away with maybe not having the how or the why, but as a project manager or anybody else in this level, you need to tell me the details. The details are specifically why they're going to hire you. If you worked at a company with 30,000 people versus 3 people, it's a big deal. So tell me more about what you did, make it clearer, and make it close to what I'm looking for here. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a video editor. So this person wants a fully remote job from... Here's a bit of the problem, is they say their home country pays really low and they're looking for a full-time remote job that pays in dollars, and I don't think you're going to get that. You might be able to get that from like maybe a contract role or something, but the biggest problem with that is they will pay you in the currency of your current area. Like, if somebody is paying somebody for out of the country, they're paying you in your local currency. I do understand what it's going for, but you're probably going to have to be best suited with like contracts and maybe Fiverr or something. But it's also the case of these are full-time positions that I have to look at. I can't really look at non-corporate positions because, you know, it's not really my domain. And the biggest problem is you typically need to be a citizen or a green card holder or some kind of work authorization before they can pay you. And there is a case of, there was a contractor that we were converting to full-time, and the problem was we could pay the contractor, but the people that held their contract was able to pay her, but we couldn't pay them in their currency because we did not have a cost center in the area. And to pay you in the currency of your like area, they would need a cost center. So I will review this, but I'll be perfectly honest with you, is I don't know if a resume is going to help you with this. I don't know if this is really a resume problem. This seems more like a work visa authorization issue, which, while I have done some of those before, it's a bit outside my domain. So what we are looking for is, first off, use this format. Please use this format. Is Premiere Pro, After Effects, Media Encoder, Figma, and DaVinci. Basically what you're going to do the editing on. Then a Mac, Windows computer. Manage multiple projects of varying complexities, meet deadlines, and work well under pressure. Type of content, so sports, politics, news, you know, entertainment, it's really going to depend. Multiple video formats, resolutions, and codecs. And the platform, so YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, that kind of stuff. So, your formatting is awful, but this is actually not a terrible sentence. I would like it to be a little bit more because I don't know what you... like the industries, but delivered X edits across YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram with fast turnaround is pretty close to what I'd be looking for. Boosted retention by up to 60% by using Paything, Storyhook, and Storytellings. Again, it's okay. It's very close to what I'd actually be looking for. Integrated AI tools, again, close. I want more details, though. This is a bit of the problem with this format, is it's all crunched up into the corner, and it's very, very small. So you need to write it like this, okay? You need to add a little bit more to there. 100 videos in 6 months, yeah, and I'd be looking more for the tools you used as well. Like this stuff, you can't just have this off in a corner. I need this in the bullet points. I need you to say... deliver 200 plus edits across YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram using Adobe Premiere, After Effects, Canva, etc. Then the next one would have to be like, you know, met all deadlines while, you know, using my Mac computer or Windows computer to edit for the politics section of the client. That's kind of the thing. So that's kind of all I can do here, but I don't think this is going to be an issue solved with a resume, because it doesn't matter if they like the work if they're not able to physically pay you, which unless they have a cost center in the area, they won't. And if they do have a cost center in the area, they're not paying you in dollars. You can't just pay somebody outside in dollars. Well, you can, but corporations can't because it messes up with their taxes. So they have to typically go through like a cost center or a different intermediary that they pay, which then pays this, which then they can do that to make sure their taxes are correct. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a software engineer, Python in Europe. They actually don't have a terrible ratio. It's a 1 in 50, so I'm expecting this to be okay. What they're looking for is either backend Python or full stack, which are very different qualifications, but for Python specifically backend, it's Python, SQL, Docker, Kubernetes, Django, Flask, Cloud, it's Word, so AWS, GCP, Azure, RESTful APIs, Fast APIs, Git, CI/CD, and a bonus for full stack DevOps, MLOps, object-oriented programming, and multi-threading. In addition, this person says they don't have a GitHub. I don't think anybody will have to check that. So I will say you should have a GitHub. Will I be checking it? No, I will not. I have no idea what makes a good GitHub or a bad GitHub, and me checking it would be a waste of my time and everybody else's time. But the hiring manager might want to check it before the interview. That is something they can do. So, and I have seen that happen where they want to see like a GitHub or a portfolio. So if you have that stuff, you should put it on, not for me, but for the hiring manager. And remember, my advice is for both of us, because I think if an advice only helps you with one of us, it's not really great advice. So put it on for both of us, just in case. You really do want the hiring manager to be able to check that out, because some of them do, because by the time it gets to them, because that is the point of a recruiter, actually. It's like, people don't get, like, why would you hire somebody that doesn't know that can't code to find coders, and the point is time. So when we get to the manager takes more time on the resume than 15 seconds, typically. And that may include going to the GitHub or the portfolio or whatever it is. So that is part of the reason recruiters exist, is we shortlist people for them so that they have the time to actually look it over deeper. Amongst many other things. That's not the only reason, that's just one of many. So in this case, let's see if they have it. I'm assuming they might, because it's a 1 in 50. So let's see if I can't find it in 20 seconds real quick. All right. You don't need to say junior. Scrum can be beneficial. Backend, Python, Django. Good. Front end. Okay, good. Troubleshooting user reports, debugging. Okay, I'd like a little bit more. Python, Django, front end code. Yeah, it's not agile. This should be capitalized. I think this should be capitalized. It's not bad. It's not great. I think this is, you need a little bit more here. Primarily, again, cloud is so big for a software engineer. You absolutely need to include cloud if you had it. So here's what you would do. First off, fix your formatting. Make it look like this. This is easy to read. This can be safely deleted. This is good. I actually like it. But then I need a little bit more here. So I do like this. I don't think this is bad, but I want a little bit more. I want to know that you've done it, like used Git. I want to know that it's CI/CD, that it's RESTful APIs, maybe cloud. Did you have Docker, maybe Docker or Kubernetes or Flask? Again, this is for the EU. They have slightly different qualifications. So I'm just missing a little bit here, and I want a little bit more. In addition, well, let's see, you've been there. That's February 2nd of March. This is an okay amount of time. So yeah, that's my big thing, is there's just a little bare. It's good that you have it here as well. I just want a little bit more. And your education should be up at the top, because your degree is necessary. But here, it says SQL down here, but I don't see any SQL. I don't know what this is. I hereby give my consent for personal data to be processed for recruitment, but that is maybe a very specific EU thing. But yeah, here you say SQL, and I don't see SQL. I am missing cloud, but you have OOP, but you didn't show me OOP. So I'm just missing a little bit of stuff. I think you're very close to getting like a 1 in 30-ish, 1 in 40. So add a little bit more. I marry SQL, CI/CD, Git, if you can, cloud, RESTful APIs, maybe Kubernetes or Docker, and I think you're going to have a really good shot at getting a position as long as you apply early. So that's about all I can do for this one. I know it was pretty short, but there's really not much here for me to do. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of another Python developer, junior, also a different one than the one last time. Actually, no, this person This person is the same one as the last time. I messed up. So the previous one was their old resume. This is their new resume. Normally I don't do this, but I did not see the note in time. And again, I'm still suffering from a migraine. So congrats, person. You got 2 of your resumes in a row. So this is the updated version of the previous one. So let's see if I can't find some of what I found here. Again, this is in the EU of the Python. So let's go. Okay, good. Computer science, good. Technician, I don't know if I need that, but still it's solid. Alright, helped build and improve web using Python and Django, good. I like that. jQuery, RESTful APIs, good. HTML is a backend, CI/CD here. I'm missing cloud. This is better than before. Whoever this one was. I know they got double, I don't know who it was, but this is better. I'm still missing cloud. Again, it's possible you haven't done it, but I'm still missing cloud. And agile, I think, should be capitalized and higher up. This one I don't need. So this says wrote unit test to catch bugs early. It doesn't have anything I need in it. So, but the CI/CD pipeline should be higher. I like the RESTful APIs. I don't know if I need Ajax. I don't know if I need jQuery. But I do like Python and Django, and then you have RESTful APIs, and then you have CI/CD pipelines. So I'm missing SQL. I am missing SQL. Definitely am missing SQL. And then I don't understand why this is a little bit different. So I'd like some of the stuff here, but this is already better than the previous one just because it's simpler to find and see. So add cloud if you can, add Git if you can, add SQL for sure, and that's kind of it. And fill in this to make it there, and I think you're gonna get a lot more interviews. So that's all I can do for this one. Thank you all for joining me. I am the Headless Headhunter. I'm here to help you get ahead of your job search. If you ever need more help, you can come on my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST till whenever. And, you know, leave a comment. Helps me out. I appreciate it. Hit the bell, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. I appreciate y'all watching.